Good morning, afternoon, evening, robotics and engineering. Here's our newest CAD challenge. This week we're going to deviate from sort of the parametric modeling and move into some more surface type modeling. We make, as you can see in front of you on the screen, the Fusion 360 logo. Let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to need to do is we're actually going to introduce a canvas. Canvas is just a use in order to draw on top of. So I will include the image to you via email of the Fusion logo. You can go and find your own if you want. I just quickly found one on the internet. There is nothing special about the one I found, but I'll make sure it's either on our Discord or emailed to you via email. Yes, emailed to you via email. So once you've downloaded it, we'll go to the Insert tab here up at the top, and we want to insert a canvas. And I will go and find mine. It is somewhere on my desktop. There it is. And now it's going to ask you to select a face. So that's just one of the three planes that we begin with here in Fusion. I'm going to choose this one right here. The canvas opacity, so we can maybe change the opacity just a little bit so we can see through it and just easier to work on instead of having it be solid. So I'm going to bring that down a little bit. The display through, you want to have this checked. It usually comes checked, but just in case, make sure it is checked. That way you can actually see the image through the model that you're making, and that's going to be very helpful and helpful if you ever want to do this in the future. We're actually going to give it a little dimension in a second. So that should be it. You can see here's our logo right there, and I'll go ahead and click OK. Now we can actually give it a dimension. So what you're going to want to do is go over to Canvas, and right click on that canvas, the actual one, and we're going to calibrate it. Okay, you can actually bring it here so you're looking straight on at it, and you're just going to choose a point. Doesn't exactly matter where, we're just trying to get it close to what we need. Down here at the bottom, and then I'm going to choose one to kind of all the way at the top, and just tell that distance to be 4 inches. This is going to make it a lot bigger. Thought it was ½ an inch, so should get big. There it goes. Now we have a little bit nicer, larger canvas to work on, and it should be roughly 4 inches from the bottom to the top. All right. Now, looking at our image here, we're going to make a couple of assumptions, which I think we need to in order to get this to look right. The first assumption I'm going to make is sort of this top of the F here in curving down area like so, and this area here I'm assuming are like further out towards us. So we're going to treat them as such, and then this side here, I'm going to kind of assume it curves or slants the opposite direction, sort of backwards. And then we're going to also suggest that this area here moves in 2 directions. So from go down, and then as it gets maybe into sort of this area here where my mouse is, as you can see, it's going to begin to curve back up to this. So this is like, this whole area is an indentation that goes down and then back up. So I'm going to start with the raised areas. So the raised areas in my view are going to be this part here that we talked about and this part here that we talked about. Okay? And so we are going to begin to create faces here. So in the here in the design area under the solid tools, we're actually going to choose this guy here, create form. We're going to create a form. That's going to allow us to kind of create a curvilinear type thing that we can define a little more specifically. So we'll go ahead and hit that. Now we're in the form menu, and we're going to kind of be in here until we hit finish form, which we won't really do until the end. We're going to start by creating faces. So here is the face icon. If you were to go to the drop-down menu, you'd see it right here. But quickly get that. And then to draw a face, we're just going to choose this front face. We're going to make sure we're going to choose it. We're going to make a couple faces. You're going to choose this face each time. So we'll go ahead and hit that. Now I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm just going to start kind of clicking here. And we don't have to be super precise, just kind of do your best. Maybe like that. that, and that. You can see these faces are composed of 4 points. We can also make them out of 3 points, but we'll get to that in a second. I'm just going to do this, and maybe that. Okay, now I've got those, and I want to have actually a line running through it, so I'm just going to go to Modify here. We'll do Insert Edge, and if I click on these top lines here, it's just, you see this green line coming in. It's just giving me another edge, so that just gives me a little bit more ability to manipulate these faces here. That's all we want to do. If we hit OK, you'll see a dark line coming through here, and there it is. We'll do face again. Choose that plane. And now what I'm going to do is actually create 4 triangles to sort of outline this circle. So let's kind of come here. And it doesn't have to be perfect yet. And so you can see when I click here, like, you think that should be the end of it because we're making a triangle, but it doesn't know that. It's making 4, it needs 4 points. So if we just go back to the initial point, it'll create that for us. Let's hit OK. And what you'll notice here, this may occur in yours, it may not. But you can see this line here, if I come off of it, it's a little darker than the other ones. That's telling me that something isn't right. So we need to sort of see about that. If I go to Utilities, Repair Body, and click on here, you can see if I highlight this little star, see that little star vertex guy thingy? That's just saying that there's some sort of issue there. So here I can just say auto repair. And notice what it's done. It knows what I was trying to do to make this semicircle. It's repaired it. And now this is starting to look a little bit more like what we want. So we can go ahead and hit OK. And what we can now do, modify, we could edit this form. And so if I click on a point here, I've got these handles, and I can now manipulate it so that it's going to follow the contours here of that outlined area that we were trying to create a little bit better. Yeah, I'm feeling good about that. All right, we're going to call that fine. So there's our first face. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we've created this sort of area that's going to be raised in our design. We're going to now create this other area here that follows this sort of contour. So the same thing again. We'll just grab the face tool, select the same plane we've selected before, and we're going to go ahead and begin making our faces. And just do your best. It doesn't have to be, 100% perfect here. And then this last one, we'll just make a triangle. We'll come all the way kind of down to this point here. And there we go. That looks pretty good. And we'll hit OK. And it gives us a nice kind of curve to it. It knows what we're trying to accomplish there. All right, we're going to now do this side here, and we're going to create some more faces. Choose the same plane, and we'll start in the corner here, come across, and I'm going to connect here. So I'm just going to come across, drop down here, and start there with the shape, and then I'm going to make a triangle in that area. Now I'll come down, and I'll continue to make this, the triangle there. And we'll hit OK. Now we're just kind of correcting here. for the sides, so we can follow that contour of the image. And again, you don't have to be that accurate, or you can be as accurate as you want. All right, so we've got it kind of how we want it here. And what I'm going to do is come back here and click on crease in the modify menu. And we want to create this crease along this line here. Like so. That now gets us that nice sharp edge that we were looking for. Click OK. And that's pretty nice there. Now I think we can come back here with edit and begin to move that. Oh yeah. A little bit nicer there. That's what I want. And let's actually come up here and we'll do the same thing. We're just going to edit this one and bring it down a bit here. And bring these guys up. Oh yeah. That's looking better. That's looking nice. Okay. Hit okay. So now we've got our crease. That's kind of separating these squares and triangles from these squares and triangles. Okay. Next, we need to actually create the area that's going to be depressed in here. I want to do one thing before that though. And so we're going to go and create a sketch. We'll use the same sketch plane, and I want to use the spline tool. And what I'm going to do is draw sort of the demarcation line of where stuff is going down and then begins to raise back up. So it's like kind of a line where it changes from going downwards to going upwards, if you can imagine that. Because the surface from here to here is going to go down and then come back up. So I'm going to draw a spline from about here, here, and maybe like here. And now we can adjust our tangent control points here a little bit. I don't know what that just did. I don't like that at all. Let's try this again. There we go. Maybe move this out. Let's see here. Come this way with it. Yeah. Something like that. So again, we can see what we're trying to do is show the area where this is going to go down. It's going to hit this area, and everything on this side of the area is going to start to come back up to this this face here that we've created. Okay, so we're going to create two different faces now. We're going to create one face that's in here and one face that's kind of out here. So let's go ahead and do that next. Okay, so now the next step is, now that we have this line here, is we're going to draw our faces in to the right of the line here. So we'll grab our face tool, same sketch, same plane, and let's just kind of come out here. Let's see, try and follow this as best we can. We're gonna just kind of do it to here, I guess. Something like that. Let's hit OK. One thing we do need to do here is go ahead and let's crease this guy. Okay. And it looks like we may have some repair work needed here. This line looks a little bit bigger, so I am going to go over to Utilities, Repair Body, Yeah, you can see a couple stars there. Let's do the auto repair. So we'll click on this right up here. That looks better to me. And we can also go to edit and we can just grab some of these points and just get them a little bit closer to our spline here. And now let's do these other parts here. So the face on the other side. Come out here. Let's try it again. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, I didn't select a face maybe. And this will correct, I believe. Okay. That looks pretty good. Let's hit OK. And we're going to create a couple more creases here. I'm going to create a crease along this line and a crease along this line here. This area here, you'll see. So we'll go to modify crease and let's grab this. Sometimes you click on them and they don't grab. I don't know what that is. And then sometimes I can't click on it. Let's see what happens here. There we go. Let's see if we can't somehow grab that again. Oh, okay. Can't grab that one. Let's do the inner ones here. So I'm going to choose this and this, this, this. Those guys right there. Perfect. That'll be another crease. All right. So I think that's pretty much all we need to do for this part. I think we're going to have something weird happening here, unfortunately. I don't know why I can't choose that. I'll try one more time. There's something, it doesn't want me to grab it. We'll just hit cancel. So we can turn off, if we turn off our canvas here, see what we got. I'm going to turn our sketches off real quick. Here is, it's a flat plane, as you can see. So now what we can do, if we go to edit form, now we can actually choose each of these cells. And make sure you're choosing kind of the space in between, not the lines themselves. You may have to zoom in to grab them. I'm going to choose those, and I'm going to choose these guys here. Okay? And if we kind of look at this at an angle now, just like so, and grab our arrow, you can see that they've come up where the creases are. Pretty nifty. All right. So that's our thing. This crease seemed to work out. It wasn't perfect, but that's all right. So we'll hit OK there. And the next thing I want to do, I don't like this hard crease here. I want it to be more of a bendy. So actually what we're going to do is uncrease this area here. So now it's on a hard crease. And now you can see it's kind of smooth as it comes up here. If we kind of zoom around, you see it's got a nice smoother look to it, which is what I wanted. All right. So that's that. We're, I think, good here. We can go ahead and finish our form. And there it is. The next thing I'm going to do, so just kind of an insert here. I was able to fix my crease here. This, I think it was this line or this line, wasn't kind of being part of the crease. So I just went in and selected it manually and then went into the modify menu and chose crease. And that seemed to do the trick. So if yours didn't work properly or you couldn't get the whole line to crease, try doing that. And then you can go back and click on these lines and uncrease them, and everything should be good. Because you want these nice crisp lines up here like you're seeing when I look in this kind of profile view. Okay. So I think we're good here. So we can go ahead and finish the form. Awesome. It finished and looks fine. Look at that. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be in the surface menu, not the solid menu. And I'm going to start a sketch. And the sketch is going to be so we can project some geometry. I'm going to choose this back plane, the one that we've basically chosen the whole time. It represents the back side of this model. It's been cut off kind of right at that point. So we're going to select that. And then I'm just going to, choose project. And make sure the bodies is chosen here because this we want to project the outline of this object, which is a body. So we'll do that. And here you can see in the kind of purple dots here, that is that outline. Finish sketch. Turn your sketches on if it disappears on you. And we're going to extrude that profile. So I just chose the extrude up here, selected that profile in the back, and I'm just going to move it forward. Just going to move it forward of the front of the object of the F. So the distance is irrelevant really, it just needs to be forward of the F just like that. Okay? So go ahead and click OK. So there it is. And I can turn that sketch off. The next thing I'm going to do is we need to make this a solid body, or I want to make this a solid body. So in the create menu, we'll come down to boundary fill. And so with the boundary fill, we're going to choose 3 boundaries to create this solid piece. The first boundary will be this side extrusion that we created. So I'm going to select that. The next boundary will be the kind of the F, this surface of the F. So I'll select that. So we've got 2 things selected here. We need 1 more. The last thing is going to be to enclose the back will be that back surface plane. And that's what we're going to use to enclose the back. So I'm going to click on that. You can see it's turned green. So that's telling us we have a enclosed space. So now I'll choose the select button here. And there's a little check mark within the green F here. Just click on that. New body is fine. We'll click OK. So if we get rid of our bodies, our 2 surface bodies, you'll see our nice looking F. It's a solid object. So we're basically done here. I'm just going to give it some color. Let's drag this glossy yellow on. Oh, it looks nice. Double click on that yellow. We can change the colors a little bit. I think that. I read somewhere those are the colors. We'll click done. Now you want to see it in all its glory. Go over to the render set category, and now you've got a really nice looking Fusion F, and we can print it out. So I hope you're able to follow this. Please ask questions if you can't, or if you don't understand something. I'm always happy to help you. Hope you learned something about using forms and surfaces. And what else? Post your image of yours onto Discord. And if you don't have the ability to use the surface or form tools, try and make this using the normal modeling tools as best you can. Hope you enjoyed it. See you guys soon. Bye.